We're here in Braunschweig, Germany, where a court has today sensationally cleared Madeleine McCann suspect Christian B of a string of rapes. Now, these offences were separate to the main McCann case, but they were seen as crucial for trying to keep Christian B behind bars for long enough for charges to finally be brought over the disappearance of Madeleine. He remains in prison due to a 2019 conviction for rape, although we understand that runs out next September. Here to discuss how German officials are desperately trying to keep Christian B behind bars and what this all means for the McCann case, I'm joined by German journalist Jutta Rabe. First, Jutta, can you recap for us the allegations Christian B has today been cleared of?
Yeah. At the first place was the rape. Number one was like a 14-year-old girl. Then the rape number two was an elderly lady, supposedly English, as the witnesses said. Then Hazel Behan, an Irish student who was brutally raped and also tortured for hours in her apartment at the Algarve. And then there was two allegations of for molesting children, more or less, making sexual actions in front of them, masturbating and so on, at the beach of Salema and in the city of Messines. That's all at the Algarve in Portugal.
Okay, so he's been cleared of these allegations, which were investigated by the same team that are investigating Madeleine McCann's disappearance, but they were brought as an entirely separate case.
Yeah.
Can you tell us why this case matters to the McCann case, please?
Yeah, it matters very much because some of the witnesses will also testify in the Maddie McCann case. And they tested now, of course, the prosecution tested, first of all, their reliability, but then also how they are received by a judge. Everything was here a little bit special and a little bit unusual because I don't see the same argumentation that the judge was seeing today by clearing him of all this. There were very, very good witnesses, but you will never have in a situation like this that two witnesses are saying absolutely identical things. Everybody observes things differently. And if there was a detail only different, the judge here said that was inconsistent.
So do you think she put too much emphasis on those slight discrepancies?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And Christian B remains behind bars now, despite being fully cleared of all charges today. That's because of a 2019 conviction for rape, which runs until next year, I believe. Can you tell us when he might be released?
Yeah, it can be that is September next year already, 25. It might be that he gets a tiny little sentence on top of that for misbehaving in the prison, but it could be, and I only have to say the prosecution must speed up now very much with either coming forward with the Maddie case, or then the appeal they will definitely make against this verdict.
So prosecutors have told us they are determined to do whatever it takes to keep Christian B behind bars.
Yeah.
I think you've touched on it there. Can you tell us what the options open to them are for keeping this man behind bars?
They have only these two options. One option is to come forward with the Maddie case and speak out the accusation, the official accusation, charge him. And that means also they have to open up all the files they have, some 20,000 pages, also to the defense team that they have tried to avoid so far out of tactical reasons. But then they have to do it. But they can come forward with that every day when they want. And when they see that there's a danger, he would come out of prison otherwise. And then they have the appeal. They don't want to go the normal way of the appeal.
I think they're going for the appeal first. Is that right?
Yes, they go for the appeal first. This is what they say. But we don't know how successful that will be. But they will go to the highest, the Prime Court in Germany.
The Supreme Court.
Supreme Court directly. And that's very unusual because they will fight not the verdict in details. They will say everything was done not appropriate to German legal practice.
Okay. And what powers do the German Supreme Court have if they agree to an appeal on this case?
Oh, they can put in a rerun. Complete retrial. Retrial, yeah, exactly. Okay. Completely done new with all the witnesses coming up again, but only with a totally different court.
And is that prosecutor's preference to have a retrial and use that to keep Christian B behind bars?
I think so, yes.
Under a new arrest warrant? Okay. But there is the potential this appeal may not be finished in time, in which case they would have to move to the
Yeah, they have to move to Plan B, and Plan B is really coming forward with the charge of in the Maddie McCann case. Yeah.
So we could potentially see charges brought on the McCann case as soon as next year.
I'm more or less calculating on that, for
Okay.
sure, for sure, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to touch on witnesses now. We've been told that the prosecution, encouragingly, has witnesses that have never been made public, that no one knows about, for the McCann case. But also, last month, we heard from a new witness, a Romanian man called Laurent Ussi. Can you tell us what he told the court, please?
Yeah, I mean, he came up with astonishing news. He said that Bruckner had confessed to him in a more or less in a friendship he had built up with him, in a cellmate friendship, that he had taken a child from an apartment in Portugal, and that he was also accompanied by this action by his wife, whereby
Okay.
he never was married, so his wife has to be seen as his lover or his girlfriend.
Okay,
Yeah.
and we have to say that Mr. C, Laurent Ussi, is alleging that Bruckner said this.
Yes.
There's no independent proof of it.
No.
And there have been some question marks over how reliable a witness Laurent Ussi could be. What information do you have on how seriously prosecutors are taking his information about Maddie?
I think police and also prosecution takes it very seriously, because he has come up with knowledge nobody else could have, or nobody has from the media, because the media didn't have this information, or lots of this information he told already in the court. And I think that
He's also Romanian.
and he's Romanian. He has nothing been influenced by the media, because he hardly looks at any TV. He can't really, he's not so good in speaking German. We heard that in the court. Yeah, he had a Romanian translator and so on. He's working in Germany, but not using the German language very much. So he's also not reading newspapers, and he did not want to blame Christian B in an how to say, not adequate way.
Yes.
He said so. But what he came up with was very much detailed knowledge of somebody who did it.
Okay. So the bottom line here is that while Christian B has been acquitted of all allegations today, there is still momentum behind the McCann case. Do you think we'll ever see Christian B in court again?
Oh yeah, very soon. Either the appeal will be done very quick and we see ourselves here in this court again, or then the Maddie trial starts, and that will start then right away, not in the beginning of next year, but I guess in the summer.
And of course, if there's a Maddie trial, we'll finally find out what prosecutors believe happened to her.
Yeah, I think so. I think they know by now much more than they have ever been knowing before.
So next year, more
Yeah.
answers, we think.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.